Hello everyone and welcome to week 12 of History 101. I'm just going to walk you through a couple of things that we're going to be working on this week and discussing some of the things that you'll be turning in by the end of the week. So this week we're going to be looking at manifest destiny and the movement of Americans west across the United States. We've already looked at democracy in America and religion reform and how things were kind of working in the Midwest and along the eastern seaboard. And we looked at the expansion of democracy during this time period, specifically during the time period of Andrew Jackson and the expansion of democracy. And we also looked at the intimately oppressed, according to Howard Zinn, women in American history and how they participated in the American dream and the ideals of America. This week we're going to be looking at manifest destiny, the continuous movement west and the divine mandate provided by God for Americans to be able to move west. Now, the only problem with manifest destiny and moving west is that there are people in the way. There are other nationality groups as well as Native Americans. And in this week, we're going to be looking at Indian removal. What happens when people are in the way and they need to be moved out of the way? And we're going to look at this through what was going on with the Cherokee Nation. Many of you have chosen to do this as your report for this class. We'll be looking at the Cherokee Nation as well as some other groups and what them as a kind of a test subject during the 19th century on what happened with Native Americans afterwards. Now, during our week 12 discussion, you're going to be looking for an example, a quote from one of the texts that we're reading about Indian removal, and using that to answer a question based on the idea of genocide in the movement of Americans West, or Native Americans West. So you're going to be looking at this definition of genocide according to the International Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide. And you're going to be choosing you're going to be discussing whether or not the movement or the removal of Native Americans and the treatment of Native Americans could be considered genocide or not. Now, it's important to remember that when we use terms of the present to define the past, that we're very careful about how we define them and how we use them. So whereas there may be aspects of a certain thing that could be considered genocide, was the entire thing genocide? And you'll be using examples and you'll be quoting specific examples and using them as evidence to support your claims. Now, of course, there is no right or wrong answer because we were not there during that time, but it's a very interesting way of looking at the past by defining it in present terms. So by the end of the week, you will complete your reading for week 12 on Indian removal and manifest destiny. You'll complete your week 12 discussion where you'll post your initial response and then respond to your classmates. You'll complete your responses based on the Howard Zinn reading, and by the end of the week, you'll complete your week 12 takeaway, where you will be reflecting on what was discussed in the readings, what's something that you take away or something that you found difficult about the readings, and then your quiz question for the final exam. So I look forward to reading through your discussions and seeing where your progress is on not just the discussions, but your graphic organizer and your research papers, research projects that are due soon. And I will be updating the Canvas soon to provide some more ideas of how you can be preparing your presentations. So I hope everyone has a wonderful week. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.